Welcome to the JTrain podcast. It's JTrain, Jared Freid, coming live from the West Village of Manhattan. That's right, every Monday. We read your emails, we tell your stories, we give you some advice and perspective. I want to thank you for being a listener. Thank you. That's how it all works. You listen to the podcast. You tell your friends, your coworkers, your brothers, your sisters. You might have noticed a little bit of a change up on the opening. It's been a while since we've been in Feather Nation Studios. Shelby's back. I'm back from my big European tour. If you're listening, it is June 5th for you. It is June 5th for you. If you're watching on YouTube, hello YouTube world. If you haven't tried YouTube, get on YouTube. We're a mess. We're all over the place because it's been a while since we've been in Feather Nation Studios talking to you directly. And June 5th, we're out. We're here. Thank you. If you came to any of the shows in Europe, what a blast. What an experience. Loved meeting you in person. Hanging, enjoying, doing the shows, unbelievable. And so now June becomes this month of I'm not doing much. I don't have a lot to promote for right now. I guess we're doing Live You Up. If you're in Philadelphia, I'm coming. We're doing a Live You Up podcast. The You Up podcast, if you don't listen and you just listen to this one, the show is very much like this one, like that one. The shows are great. I really do enjoy doing the shows. So it is June 5th. June 15th, we're going to be in Philadelphia. Then I'm coming to Boston. I'm coming back to Boston. New York City, June 23rd. And then Washington, D.C. I've heard the New York and D.C. shows are selling well. I heard Boston's okay. Philly, where are you? Let's get on it. Get the group chat. Assemble them. We do dating app makeovers. We answer audience questions. We do deal reveal. Deal reveal is we take text messages and we go through them and kind of tell you what the message is behind the message. Because, you text and you're saying things you don't mean. You're saying things to keep the conversation comfy, cozy, right? You send an LOL and you're not sitting there, No, the LOL was just a period on the end of the sentence to end this conversation, right? That's what Deal Reveal is all about, saying what isn't being said. And if you're in a situationship, if you're dealing with someone out there, we love when people send in their screenshots to this podcast. I love that. Shelby, you're reading the emails. Shelby stays up late at night with his nightcap with a little pom-pom at the end and a little candle, and he reads all your emails. Send in some screenshots here. We'll translate. I know, because I know. I've sent the LOL without laughing. I've sent the emoji thumbs up that's a little bit passive aggressive. We've all done these things. I'm gonna translate it for you. So Philadelphia, Boston, New York, DC. We're doing You Up Podcast Live, and then I'm back. Stand-up dates. I'm doing some stand-up. So, and I would say since we taped the special in December, I would say I have a half hour of that new. So that's like fun to play with because I'm kind of trying to move on from the old stuff. So Kansas City, Nashville, Stamford, Connecticut, Raleigh, North Carolina. I didn't even know Raleigh was on the calendar. Raleigh, there we go. Lexington, Kentucky, Charlotte, North Carolina. I know that there's going to be more dates coming, so jaredfreid.com. Enough of me, enough of all the rambling. We're back, Feather Nation Studios. Thank you for being a listener. Keep telling your friends. I'm very excited for today's guest, hilarious comedian, Alex Cumin. Thank you for coming on.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Well, Alex Cumin from my hometown of Needham, Massachusetts. Welcome to the show.
Go Rockets.
We've been trying to make this happen for a long time.
I know. It's so good to be here.
Your brother Mitch, one of my good friends from high school.
Absolutely.
I remember he was like, Alex is getting into comedy. We emailed. You went to Chicago. You made your way to New York, working the Comedy Cellar. Everyone needs to go follow Alex at Alex Cumin on Instagram. Go follow. Hilarious, awesome comic. Show every Wednesday
at Gutter Bar. Comedians You Should Know, 9 p.m. Gutter Bar in Brooklyn.
That was a Chicago show.
Chicago show started in Chicago, and then some of the boys brought it out here, and we run it every Wednesday. It's so fun, so cash.
I say this is how I brand these type of shows. They're, people listening are probably a lot like us.
Yeah.
nice people, good people, working, going for it, doing whatever they're doing. But you want to, like, I think we all want to say we do cool things, but we don't really want, like, we're not really cool enough to be in those cool things. Like, you might, we're from Needham. We're not from, like, some city urban sector where, like, we were, coming out under.
We're working hard.
Yeah, we weren't Ninja Turtles.
It's vanilla.
Coming out. We weren't coming out of the sewers to go to this cool punk rock show at 18.
No.
We were in basements hanging out with some guy
slamming 30 racks.
Yeah, exactly. So I think if you move from like a suburb to a city area, you want to do different things and you want to do something that's cool, but you also don't like really know where to fucking go.
Totally.
Comedians You Should Know is one of those shows. It's in the back of a bowling alley in Brooklyn. Like, how cool is that? And then
it's such a cool vibe because it's like you have no idea. It's like behind this kind of like hidden door too. Like everyone who's been there for the first time is like, I had no idea there was a space back here.
Right.
It's kind of a cool like underground feel. It's an awesome show. We have a great lineup. We have like the best comics in the city every week. You've done it.
It's a great show.
I've done it.
It's a lot of fun. It's just one of those shows I think that people go to and they go, I was having this conversation with someone where like when you're at the Cellar, hey, so you've been there a little bit.
Yep.
Have you had someone famous show up?
I haven't had like like go up ahead of me and like bump me. I haven't had that happen yet. I've seen some famous. Have you been in the
showroom when the famous person gets announced?
No.
Okay, so you haven't had that.
I haven't
moment.
had that experience yet.
I used to host a lot at the Comedy Cellar. So and it was before now I feel like old man River telling this story.
Back in my
day, we used to go to the comedy show, and one time I'm trying to think of an old Buddy Hackett showed up. Yeah,
it's like Mom's Mabley walked in,
and I said to the crowd, "Put away your oil paintings,
your gramophones."
Yeah, exactly. Well, they wouldn't lock up your phones. Now they lock up your phones. So when I would host, you're gonna get. I understand this like. Wild West, like you got your phone and something happens, you're like, ha, I'm gonna tape you. You know, like I understand that is it's
natural. It's like it's become like a movement. It's just muscle memory now. I
think people have to have more empathy for that muscle memory. Like we do that whole thing. Oh, look at all these monsters taping.
And you're idiots. Like, yeah, we've all been trained to do that.
Right.
That's what it's just been such an intense like decade of cell phone use of just like, I gotta get content, I gotta be the person to share it, I gotta be the person to film it, to show my friends later, to put on social media. It's like, you don't, but
I've been talking a lot about like taking pictures, like your mom taking pictures. Like your mom takes pictures and never prints them out, like has no plan for them.
And also the worst pictures you've ever seen.
The worst pictures.
A corner. Corner.
And you're like, what is this for? Where does this go? I understand. You understand why your mom does that. She's just like, I gotta have
capture it. Wants to capture that memory, and then just has no idea where the photo goes either.
Absolutely. There's no plan for it. They don't want to put it anywhere.
No perspective, no rule of thirds, no lining up. No.
None. So I understand. So I would go on stage and I would say like, hey, before the famous person would come up, I would go, remember, put no phones allowed at the Comedy Cellar. And they would go, and look, they're in between comics, or like, they're talking to their neighbor. And I would say, and you'd have to like take the brunt of no laughter, like being the substitute teacher.
Yeah, and that's part of hosting. So I host a lot. I love hosting, and I have done this so many times before. Where right before you bring someone, you could just a reminder, guys, just no photography, no video, just be present. I would always remind them, just like be present, be here, enjoy this.
And you don't want, no one got into comedy to give updates on be present.
Well, I did.
You did. I'm sorry.
A present moment reminder. Present. I love meditation.
Hey, everybody, mindfulness.
Ding.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would go up and I would say, hey, put away the phones. Remember, you will be kicked out.
Yeah.
You will be kicked out. And they'd be like, and then I go, okay, every now and again we have a special guest. Give it up for blankety blank, whoever it is. Mom, Maybelline, Buddy Hackett. So they would come on, and what you notice is everyone in the room would go nuts, whoever it was, and you could feel that, like, I got my thing. I got my story to go home with. I got my I got the thing at the office.
Yeah.
And I do think a show like yours, Comedians You Should Know, which is every Wednesday night at the Gutter Bar, is one of those things you go, I got my thing. I was in a cool back of the, bowling alley place.
Yeah.
So you're already halfway there. Whether the show's good or not, it's going to be good. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What'd you do last night? Oh, I actually went to a comedy show in the back of a bowling alley. Yeah.
Bowling alley. There's graffiti and it's just it is a cool vibe. It's a cool show. It's not like a comedy club. It's not like just like, all right, phones away, $20 minimum, 2 drinks. It's like
bar in the corner. Get up and get it. Yeah.
Get up. We're setting up folding chairs before every show. It's like, it's DIY. We love it.
Okay, so enough about your show.
Great.
You and I both went to Needham High School, both Rockets.
Absolutely.
I'm going back this weekend.
You said for a lacrosse thing?
Lacrosse.
I mean, of course.
Well, it's interesting to me. It's so funny. I was back in Boston last weekend for the Girls Gotta Eat show. I was their special guest, so to speak.
Yeah.
And it's weird because I was like, you tell people I'm from Needham, and now it's weird how I'm 38 now, so you forget that time has moved on. I'm always in my mind, I'm always 23. So I say Needham, and people go, "Ooh, fancy."
It was not. It was
it never
middle
felt
class.
that way. Yeah.
It was middle class growing
up. It was whatever.
Now it's very much.
I didn't, and it's this weird thing of no one wants to be the alpha betas. No one wants to be, the bully. No one wants to be
I don't want to be
Hawks from Mighty Ducks. You want to be the Mighty Ducks.
You want to be the Mighty Ducks. You want to be the underdog. You don't want to be the rich asshole kids. But people are going. People just need it. Oh, it seems like it's like
Isn't it weird?
It was middle class.
It was
basic.
It was whatever. You knew the nice part of town. You knew the not nice part of town. You knew it, but the width of the town was mostly this is all whatever. I don't know. But you've gotten that reaction too.
Oh, totally. I even have a joke right now about being from the suburbs of Boston.
Yeah.
In the comment section, people are just like, that knows she's probably from Newton. I'm like,
oh my God,
chill. Everyone is so mad because I talk about Boston being a racist city, as I mean, welcome to America, but welcome to Boston. But people are just like. It's so funny how pointed people are being about which specific suburb I am from.
It's one of the. It's very much of the times of you got to be the hero in your own story.
Yeah.
So it's I do get that twinge of I have to defend it. When someone goes, "Ooh, Needham fancy."
Yeah.
You have to admit to it, and then I always get in this weird explanation. I'm like, well,
well, after the economic crash of '82,
I turned into that guy again.
Mom's Mabley.
Right. I was I don't have a relate. To me, I'm you mean Wellesley, right? To me, I'm that's fancy.
That's the one.
But it's we all have that thing of you have placed things in your mind, and someone else has a different kind of perspective on it, and you go, and it's Needham was nice. It's not I was living in that shithole Dedham, and then you're but it wasn't Wellesley, and then it's
but it was middle class. It was upper middle class. I think right now it's upper.
I guess I don't even know. My parents moved out, so I don't go back. Do you go back?
No, my parents don't live there anymore.
Yeah,
priced out. Okay, can't live there.
The coffees were too expensive.
Goddamn, Cafe Fresh. Incredible bagel.
I think I might go back this Thursday. I think I have to make a pilgrimage to Cafe Fresh.
You gotta go to Cafe Fresh.
Right. This was the bagel place in Needham, and do you know it is Sylvia's? It had a different name. This is back in my day. I'm back. No, you go to the but there's so many Needham things related that we could talk about. But what have Needham people said to you going into comedy? Has there been a response? Has Needham people come to your shows?
Needham people, I have a couple friends who live here. Everyone is always Jared. Everyone's Jared. And I'm Well, also we have some famous Needhamites too.
There's a few in there.
Jen Kirkman is another Needham.
She was a name that came up to me when I first started. People go, "Oh, Jen Kirkman."
Jen Kirkman. Yeah. Allison. She's casting director. Allison. Her last name is
her name. Casting.
This could be big for me.
Right.
It'll come to me. And then who is the gymnast? Allie
Raisman.
Allie Raisman is another neat.
Well, then that's the thing where you try to be a public whatever.
Yeah.
And then you start hearing about like these other, and then someone brings up Allie Raisman to you.
Yeah, I'm like, the Olympian.
Yeah. You go, yeah, we're doing the same thing.
For sure. No, what I do is the same as what she does.
Allie Raisman tapes a podcast in her studio apartment next to her bed too.
For sure. After her doubles, yeah.
Right. They named they're naming a street.
They're naming
after
the
us
street.
Later.
Don't you have posters lining Greendale Avenue?
Right. That's. So Needham has there's a history here, but I'm pumped to have you on. We're gonna do the show. Shout out to Mitch if he's listening.
What's
up,
Mitch?
Let's do some emails. You ready?
Let's get into
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. It's been a while since I've taped this show, so sorry this is a little disjointed, but I think this has been okay so far. We're gonna get into the emails. If you have an email, if you have a problem, lifestyle, relationship, whatever's going on in your life, this is the Dear Abby, of the podcast. So JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. If you have a conundrum, we love a conundrum. Love to beat that drum of Canun. So let's go.
The conundrum.
Love the conundrum.
Love a conundrum.
Hit the conundrum, Shelby. So let's do JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for being a listener. Always a pleasure doing this show. Alex Cumin, @AlexCumin. Communicating in transparency mode. This is actually on the subject that we just talked about.
Okay,
so this is relatable.
Okay.
Softest of feathers to your package. I'll get to it. I have a relationship and technology question. My boyfriend, 29 male, and I, 38 female, have been together for 2 years. We like our independent time, and we typically spend half the week together. Things are going well, but I'm getting annoyed recently. 2 weeks ago, he bought a new set of over-the-ear headphones that has a noise-canceling mode and transparency mode. You can still hear surrounding sounds. I have a transparency mode on the AirPods.
I have that. Yep.
Do you use it?
Only when I'm running.
Okay.
To hear traffic.
That's a good. That's like a smart.
That's the way to use it.
Also, like to me, like more female than male. I'm just like,
absolutely.
I'll go with a noise canceling.
Absolutely.
I'm listening to Welcome to the Jungle.
2 a.m. on a Tuesday.
Right.
Block it out.
Right. You try and fight me.
Yeah.
I played high school lacrosse.
I'm going back to Needham next week.
He loves them and started wearing them when we're together.
Ooh.
When we're out together, he wears them and plays music. Talking to someone with headphones on just feels weird in general, but they're in transparency mode, and he's attentive in conversation, so I can accept it. The problem comes when we're at my place. I'll go to the kitchen for a few minutes and come back to find him playing a video game or something with the headphones on. He's less consistent with putting them in transparency mode, so I don't know whether he can hear me. Now I'm annoyed. I talked to him about it and asked that he make sure the headphones are on transparency mode if he's going to wear them around me. He said that he'd try, but he didn't feel confident that he'd be able to do it consistently. He said he already has a habit with these headphones and he can't guarantee that they are always going to be in transparency mode. I told him if he can't guarantee that they're in transparency mode when we're together, then I'd rather he not wear them around me at all. He said he'd try and we ended it at that. Am I being unreasonable? If we're hanging out together, I think it's reasonable to expect that he should be able to hear me. Otherwise, why are we even hanging out? I swear that he's happy in the relationship and not trying to ignore my existence, LOL. I recognize that I am less connected to my phone than most people these days, so maybe I'm the weird one. Is this normal now? Would appreciate you and your guest thoughts. So Alex Cumin, this woman is dating a guy who keeps his AirPods in. Well, this woman is dating a guy who keeps his earphones on, but claims he's in transparency mode. So what's the biggie? How do you feel about this?
Doesn't feel transparent to me. That's right. I'm a no on this one.
Right.
This is okay. This I immediately am reminded when you go to like coffee shops will have this now. They'll have a sign up that's like, please stay off your phone. Stay off, like when you're ordering from the barista. Stay off your phone. Get off your cell phone. This is.
I haven't seen that sign.
You haven't
I've seen
that?
the no laptops.
No laptops. Oh, I'll see it like
no
at
laptops.
The counter.
Coffee shops. Those exist. I haven't seen the sign, but that's my personal policy.
Yes.
I've made
common courtesy.
A common courtesy. I've made an actual point in my life, and this isn't, I hope this doesn't come off as like, I actually don't like the way her emails ends. Like the way she ends the email is something you don't have to do, and it's something that I feel like people do now where they have to like say, well, I must be the weird one. And it's like, you're not weird.
No,
I don't want to hang out
weird.
with someone who has their headphones on.
You're not weird for establishing a boundary that you want and standing up for what you want in a relationship.
Right.
That's not weird. I think it's weird that he's wearing headphones around you, even if they are in transparency mode. You ever talk to someone who has earbuds in? It just feels like they are shut out.
Right. They have a foot out of the conversation.
Yes.
And they are literally like, if something better comes along in my ear, I'm going to tap into this.
Take this. It'd be like if we were doing the podcast like this. It just,
and I was like,
it's like the equivalent of.
I agree. And I guess like the ages, they could go, it's generational. He's 29, she's 38. I don't even like that. I don't think that is something, that's something like people say when they want to like get you to shut the fuck up.
Right.
They go, you don't get it, old man. No. I walk into a coffee shop, headphones off. I just feel better about my conversation with the person. Would I judge someone who wears their headphones while ordering? Yes.
Yes.
I would look at them, I go,
take them out. I take my earbuds out. It's so easy to do this
and
put them back in when you're done ordering. And it's just because cell phones and all of technology have completely cut us off from connecting to each other.
Right.
This is such a perfect example, especially if it's like, do they live together? Do we know if they live together? They said they spend half of the week
together.
So my assumption is no.
That was the thing where I'm like, I would push back on her. I lived with a partner. I would have headphones in to listen to podcasts while I walked around the house. I do understand that if you've been together the whole day and you guys are just hanging around the house, he's like, I'm going to pop in headphones to kind of like put my brain on the shelf and have a moment where I don't have to deal with the screaming inner monologue that I have going on. I understand.
Anxiety.
Right. Yeah. I understand where podcasts and also music and she says playing the video games. I do get that. Like, and I think that's where I go, like, but I do think because all hours are headphone hours, I could understand where you're like, I don't know when I'm getting this person.
On, when I'm off.
Right.
So I've been living with my boyfriend for 3 or 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's a comedian. We work from home together. We have the same job. We spend a lot of time together. So during the day, I will very specifically be like, hey, I'm putting headphones in now.
Right.
Or like, I'm going into this room. I'm going to shut the door. Like, just a heads up. And I think where this is they're hanging in this like middle ground area of like, it's just pick one side. If you want to have your headphone time, you want to have your video game time, absolutely go do that. But then when it's done, have it be done. Right.
That is the solution to this. Right. That's where it becomes, because I remember being in the apartment having headphones on and then like she'd be talking to me.
Yeah.
And then I would be like, oh, I missed that whole thing. And she would go, oh my, she would get annoyed. And I would go, well, the headphones are in. Like I think the headphones in is a sign of I am somewhere else.
Yes.
And that's okay. If you go, oh wait, I didn't hear you. The headphones were in. I was somewhere else.
It's
not like you went to like on a date and then the headphones are in and you're going, yeah, if someone else comes in, I can get away from this. That's where I think there's too much.
Totally. And it is extremely important for people in couples, especially longer term, to have alone time, to have separation, to have, especially if they're like living together, like absolutely. But I think just boundaries need to be established of like, hey, especially if they don't live together, when you're here, when you're over at my house, you don't have the headphones in.
Right. And when we go for coffee.
And when we go for a walk, that's psychotic. You're going to walk down the street and have headphones in? I'm walking the other direction.
I watched a video and I tweeted about this and I turned it into a TikTok, but I watched a video where a guy proposed with one headphone in.
And I'll kill myself. I'll kill myself on camera.
You go, will you marry me? Just killed yourself.
Dead.
You got to see this video.
This in my eye right now.
This woman got proposed to and she just took a pen in her eyeball when she saw the AirPod in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Talk about a TikTok.
You see that happen, you go, what are we doing here?
What has happened?
Right. What is he?
What has happened to us?
Cyrano?
Did she
getting directions?
Go for John. What did she say? Yes.
Yeah. Oh, this is like a happy video. That's the thing. One person's happy video is another person's me judging the fuck out of them.
Mania.
We are at a time in our lives where you're gonna need gifts pretty often. People are getting married or having babies or actually hosting dinner parties. We're adults now. You'll be the best person at any special event if you show up with a bottle of wine from First Leaf. First Leaf is America's most personalized wine company. It takes the stress and worry out of picking the perfect bottle of wine. Getting started is easy. Just take a quiz about your preferences, and your very own wine concierge will curate a selection of wines just for you. Your personalized collection will show up at your door in just a few days. I love what First Leaf is doing. I have a good friend. He's a sommelier. All I do is bother him because I don't want to sound stupid. Wine is one of those things where you don't want to sound like that person who's acting like they know more than they do, because you know nothing. You want someone to tell you, based on what you just said, you're looking for this. I used to do it with my friend. Now I do it with First Leaf. Give a bottle away as a quick gift for any occasion, or pop one open at home to celebrate the easiest wine purchasing experience you've ever had. Also, it's going to get you into wines you never would have thought of. That's a great thing. Open up your world. I love reconnecting with family and friends over a bottle of First Leaf wine, and I bet you'll feel that way too. So give First Leaf a try. Head over to okay, here it is. Hold on. Tryfirstleaf.com/JTrain to sign up and save 50% on your first 6 hand-curated bottles plus free shipping. That's real money, people. That's tryfirstleaf.com/JTrain to save 50% on your first 6 bottles plus free shipping. Tryfirstleaf.com/JTrain. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. When we're constantly caring for other people, it's hard to find the time and energy to care for yourself. BetterHelp's online therapy gives you a safe place to share your feelings, work through problems, and take time to focus on your own needs. I love what BetterHelp's doing. It's an easier way to get into therapy. There's a lot of different walls up when you're trying to get into something new like therapy. This is a great toe in the water. BetterHelp is completely online, so you don't have to go and sit in a waiting room. You don't have to go to an office you don't recognize. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. It's therapy when and where it works for you, whether that's under the covers in bed or in the car between appointments. That's unbelievable. That speaks to me, because you might be like on the go and you're like, I don't know when I can ever fit this in. Do it in the car. Getting started is easy. Just take a quick survey about your preferences, and BetterHelp will match you with a licensed therapist. If your first therapist isn't a perfect fit, you can easily switch at any time at no extra charge. That's wonderful too. So you're not committed to one therapist. You can switch. It's great. Find more balance with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/JTrain today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/JTrain, BetterHelp.com/JTrain. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com, JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Here with Alex Cumin, @Alex Cumin on Instagram. Go follow. Comedians you should know. It's every Wednesday. Gutter Bar, Brooklyn. Noisy Neighbors. Dear JTrain, Feather, going to cut to the chase because I'm so enraged right now. I've lived in my Upper East Side apartment for 2.5 years. Love it. It's a great price, size, and I love my neighborhood. But of course, it seems all good things must come to an end. About 2 years into my lease, my upstairs neighbor has gone seemingly insane. Do you have to stop? You sure? Okay. Has gone seemingly insane, or they moved out and are subletting to a grade A asshole. He has started stomp pacing back and forth at random hours of the day and night, along with a whole other cacophony of noise. Did I even use that right?
Cacophony is perfect. Of noise? You nailed it.
I mean, that was a big reading moment for me. That's a big one. Cacophony of noise, I can only assume, is him jumping on a trampoline or learning to clog dance. I've once knocked on his door to ask him what the fuck was going on because he is being so loud, only to have him answer holding an actual basketball in his hands. That's crazy.
That feels like okay.
Is this guy for real? We live in New York City. There are millions of parks nearby. Go the fuck outside with that thing. What are you, 10 years old? To be fair, he apologized. I haven't heard that specific noise since then. But other loud ceiling shaking noises haven't stopped despite my hopes. He isn't loud every day. I'll go a week or two not hearing him at all to to 3 days a week of him driving me crazy. My lease is ending soon, and I will desperately want to stay in this apartment. I don't know if dealing with this guy, even intermittently, is worth it. I don't want to have to ask him to be respectful of his neighbors every time he finds a new sports ball to play with at Target. But I also don't want to let him scare me away from what used to be my safe and quiet place in the city. What if the next apartment has even louder upstairs neighbor? Can we make it a thing to add conditions of the upstairs neighbor goes or I do when re-signing the leases? What do we think?
Ooh, okay.
What should they do?
This is fascinating because also when you find a New York City apartment that you love, that is the right price, you hold on to that.
When it fits for you, so little in this city fits.
Yes.
So when something does fit, you kind of clench it tighter. Yeah.
Dig your claws
I have
into
this
that.
with this apartment. Like I'm not like this is a small space, but I like you walked in, you're like the neighborhood, the location, and I've stayed here now way longer than I would have thought because I'm like, wow, this really fits my lifestyle. So I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and especially if they've been there, they're a good tenant. I feel like it might be worth talking to the landlord. I love that they approached the neighbor and they've spoken to the neighbor rather than like sort of, a passive aggressive note or something like that. I do feel like if it's just a one-time thing that they've had, I feel like this is we knock upstairs.
Here's what's so frustrating about this, because I do understand when you go up to their apartment and you're like, the noise is crazy, and you get up there and they're holding a basketball wearing their Michael Jordan jersey, and you're like, and they go, oh,
I didn't realize.
Oh my God. And it's like, and then you go, oh, wow, this person is so removed or actively trying to be removed that if I have to ask for them to stop playing one-on-one upstairs, where does it end? I mean, like, because now it becomes, I have to be responsible to remind them everything. Like, oh, basketballs aren't allowed? Oh, I'm sorry.
What about clog dancing, tap dancing?
They're going to have that reaction
every time.
I'd almost rather them fight me. I'd rather them go, no, basketball shit, and you go, come on, you had to have thought that. And for them to have no thought on it.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Right.
Upstairs.
What? Wait, I can't take my cane and smash it against the that bothers you?
It's, and I'm a real solution-based thinker.
Right.
So my thing is like, you go back up, you establish a relationship with this person of, hey, I work from home, or whatever the scenario is.
Right.
Hey, I'm a human being living below you, and you're making a ton of noise all the time at erratic hours. I really want to re-sign this lease. I really want to stay in this apartment.
Right.
Your noise is making it difficult for me to want to do that.
Right. I would mark it down. Because
just keep a log.
Let's keep a log. Because I would want to know, because that's my point, is like, when does the asking end?
Right.
Because if they go basketball, oh, good to know, no basketball. Then they're like, okay, well,
marbles? A jar of marbles from my bed.
Right.
Not cool.
So that's not. Oh,
not
okay.
cool.
Okay, good to know.
All right.
To have that reaction is so fucking frustrating, because you're like, oh, wait, I can't just, marbles. I don't know even what next.
There's all sorts of people I think about
in New York City, too.
In New York City, I lived in Chicago for years, and in my last apartment there, we were on the top floor, and below us were two smokers. They smoked cigarettes inside. It was an old Chicago building, so the landlord didn't care, but they would smoke cigs. So all winter, we just piping through our heat vents, we were just getting cigarette smoke. So kind of in retaliation, we're like stomping around the place. Like, sorry. But we had asked them, like, hey, can you guys maybe just smoke outside or out the window, whatever, that's fine. In your apartment all day, like, you just have to. You had to just open that dialogue and just be like, hey, we're dying.
I mean, this building, the walls are thin.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the deal here. Like, it's an older building. I've heard the people above me. Anytime I hear them, I just assume like this is just the building.
Yeah.
I think for this person, you keep a log and you give it, and you start with them. I think opening the dialogue.
Yes.
Hey, I don't know what was going on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Right.
But those were times where the noise was crazy. And they'll go, oh, well, I was doing my marbles. I was
popping balloons.
Popping balloons.
Is that not cool?
That's not cool.
That's not cool.
All of those things, we got to put them on the list of not cool things.
Yeah.
And then I would go to the landlord. Hey, here's the log. you got to talk to this person too to back me up.
Yes.
Because this noise is crazy.
Yes.
I've lived here and I'm deciding on the lease. I've been a good, and here's the power
tenant.
they have. They've been a good tenant.
Yeah.
So it's like, you've gotten 0 complaints from me. I live here quietly. I don't bother anyone. I need you to back me up here.
Yes. Yes.
Because they want to keep, I will say, as someone who has a tenant of their own, I want to keep this person. I almost work for them.
Yes.
You know, I do
a
work.
good tenant is hard, especially also Upper East Side. Like, that's a landlord that wants to, like, keep the peace, I'm sure.
JTrain podcast at gmail.com, JTrain podcast at gmail.com, here with Alex Cumin. Go follow at Alex Cumin on Instagram. Go. Hilarious comic. Am I being sexist when I vent about dating? Okay.
Cannot wait for this.
Here we go.
Salivating.
Get out that women's studies major diploma. Here we go. Stretch out, because we feather all the things. Writing in because I had an upsetting interaction with a friend, which led to a friendship breakup. That's extreme. I mean,
okay.
Have you ever had a friendship breakup?
A long time ago.
Really?
Yeah. It was a gal who was a real.
And you were like,
she.
And you said we are broken up.
Oh, we didn't. We just parted ways.
Okay. Because I friendship breakup, I hear that, I'm like, that is so unrelatable to me. Like, I'm just like, I'm more in the friendship ghosting.
It felt more like a friendship fade away.
Okay. That is more relatable to me. And I'd really value your take on what went on. I'm a 27-year-old straight cis female. He is a 37-year-old straight cis male. Okay. We became friends at our climbing gym when both of us needed partners and naturally developed a friendship. I have opened up to him a lot about my dating life as I'm truly in the thick of it, dealing with dating as a person in my mid to late 20s. And much like you, I always valued his take on things. He also actively asked me to share my dating experiences when we hang out together. As we all know, some dating can be frustrating and confusing sometimes. The blowout fight happened when he told me he started to feel very uncomfortable with the things I'm saying and that I'm being sexist towards men in my statements and using microaggressions. That, to me, this is a wild conversation amongst friends.
Yeah, and I need to know specifics.
Right.
I need specifics, but let's hope that there are some.
Like, if a friend of mine used the phrase, like, listen, I understand what microaggressions are.
Totally.
But, like, with a friend-to-friend conversation.
At a climbing gym?
This, like, screams like satire from Portlandia.
Yeah.
You know, like the climbing gym
on
friends.
belay. I'm offended by I'm triggered.
Right, the tone of that on belay. This has really upset me because I've always thought of these conversations as venting and sharing experiences, but he insists that when I vent about my dates that I'm making sexist remarks. It's also like, I'm sorry to be this guy, but like, that's like it just doesn't ring very male to me.
No,
to be like, you're being
sexist towards men. And here's the thing: does sexism towards men exist? Of course, it exists, and all.
Sure, everything exists.
Everything exists. I would love. I hope we have maybe some specifics because I just want to know a little bit more. But like, okay, no, let's just hear.
Let's
just
keep
hear
going.
More. Okay.
But, no, I agree with you. Like, there's like.
I want to go in with an open mind here, but I'm already like...
Someone on my Instagram, on the question box, was asking about, like, ethically non-monogamous.
Yeah.
And it's, to me, I was like, and I kind of said, I was like, it's this, like, thing of, like, I know that exists.
Yes.
It's working for some people. Yes. I don't think the amount of people it works for is in relation to the amount of people who are using that term to try and fuck.
Yeah.
So
that's a really good math equation.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure
if X is
right, the amount of people using the phrase ethically non-monogamous seems to grow by the day. I don't think many people can handle that type of relationship. I do know people do handle. So it's like this thing of like what you're saying is like, can someone be sexist towards men? Yes, it exists. But you know, when you start talking about it, you're immediately like your bullshit meter goes off.
Yeah,
because you're like, I can't, like, okay, fine, but I need this. I need it to be so specific.
I need to hear exactly what we are. Is she just like in his boob, like his dick? Okay.
I asked him to specifically tell me what has bothered him, and he said that it's my thoughts about men paying for the first date. I think they should. Thanks for your amazing TED Talk. Men needing to put in effort in reaching out to me or being more proactive. Men having sex and then dumping you. And various other topics such as these, which you've also talked about here. I'd also like to add here that he will actively ask me about my experiences and that I've always been respectful if he disagrees and greatly value these conversations. These topics typically come up in the context of a conversation about a particular guy I'm dating or an experiences that I've had in real time. My thoughts on all the above are clearly generalizations, and I think if these don't apply to you as a man, then why would you be offended by it? I'd like to get your take on this, as you have these exact conversations all the time, and in the public eye. Am I being sexist when I say something like, yeah, that guy was a flop, or men are dumb sometimes? I like when a guy pays for the date in context of venting about dating. Thank you. So what do you think? I have an idea.
Men are dumb sometimes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Cancel me. It's true. And, okay. First of all, my first thought is that maybe her climbing partner likes her.
Yeah, that's like above all else. And that's probably like the least like woke thing that we could go to.
Of course, right? but whatever.
When I hear a younger woman talking about her older guy climbing partner that she met out of the blue. I don't think people like randomly meet unless there's like a tiny bit of attraction.
Yep.
Something, there's got to be a little
spark.
Little spark to make a flame.
There is a spark.
Yeah. So I'm with you. I think, and that's why he's taking what she's saying personally.
He's feeling upset that he doesn't agree. He's like, oh, I like her, and I don't agree with the way that she's. I don't think I should have to pay for the first date. I don't think all men are dumb. It's like I think also taking this stuff too literally. And I guess if we switched it, if we switched the roles, and he was out here being like, women are stupid sometimes,
right?
Which is like hilarious because we're like comedians, so we're hearing every joke about men and women and non-binary. We're hearing every joke that there has ever been made about that. This just kind of it's a sensitivity thing to me that
he's sensitive to. I do think if I was to give her feedback, what she's asking for. She said something she does something very interesting. She talks about my TED Talk. The TED Talk I did was about who should pay for the first date. And the moral of the TED Talk, it came to a conclusion of like, it's really whatever makes you feel best. Like, it's okay to be turned off from a date. It's okay to be turned on from a date.
Yeah.
It's okay to have taste. And I think when she says men should pay for the first date, to me, that's actually against what I was saying. You have to own that, that I like when men that I date pay for the first date. I think when you say men should pay for the first date, now you're looking at him. Now it becomes a judgment on him,
right?
Because if he doesn't
pay for the first, then he's not man enough, or he doesn't have money.
Right,
ascribing all of these extra things to it. It's also, it's what it is. It's. She thinks men should pay for the first date, and perhaps he is thinking, well, that means that she wants a man to have money all the time. And
that's where he goes into incel world.
Oh, God, I love that world.
Right. He goes straight into, now
get me my gun.
Right. Yeah. But that's the thing. He kind of like, it's like vulnerability produces vulnerability. I do believe that. And that's not like a smart thing to say. But I do think when you go in the same way, when you go, men do this, he's going to go, well,
not
women,
all men.
Not all men. And he's going to go, and women, I guess all you women want a rich guy or something like that. And he kind of responds with that.
Right.
So I think like the thing that I've, that you learn a lot is like when you personalize these things, it makes these conversations actually easier.
Yeah.
Because now you're not like in this like, women do this, men do this. And I think like when you say like, it turns me off when a guy, and when you go, men are stupid. I think that's an actually like easier statement. Like, oh, these stupid fucking men.
Yeah.
That's
a throwaway comment.
It's a throwaway comment. When you say men should pay for the first date, because I would say like you're gonna get feedback where this guy's personally offended because you're basically looking at him going, you're doing you wrong.
Yes.
And I think that's how he's taking it.
He's responding. And this also just seems like maybe a friendship gone awry as well.
Well, there was no friendship.
There was no friendship. He wanted to, he's trying to, you don't approach a woman at a climbing gym and be the belay partner.
Right.
Because you're a good guy. You want to help her climb.
Right. And
helping her shatter that glass ceiling.
Right. You get her up the mountain. Come on. I want you to be a CEO of this mountain.
Yeah.
I don't buy, I think, and then also when you guys are having these like very high level dating conversations, it is flirty. Like it is like a little bit like,
oh, that's what you like? Okay,
right.
cool. I can be that too.
And right. And then she's basically saying, you know, insulting him because you're going, when you say men instead of like what I like, you're basically saying if he doesn't do those things, now he's done it wrong. And so I understand why he's getting offended.
Totally.
Because it's like, he's like, well, now you just think I'm this unfuckable dude who's out here embarrassing himself.
And I've been helping you climb this mountain the whole time, and you don't respect me. And it's like, yeah, it's okay. Not everyone is gonna. It's not gonna work out for everyone.
Right. I mean, I guess my feedback to her, like, I like when a guy pays for the date, is so different than men should pay for the date.
Yeah.
Like I agree with you. You're allowed what. I agree with what makes you wet.
You are allowed to like what you like and stand behind that.
Right.
And if you're...
I mean, but if he gets offended by that guy was a flop, and then you go, well, what happened on the date? And then you go, well, he didn't pay for the date. And then the guy goes, well, do you think all men should pay for the date? And you go, well, I think if I went on a date with a man, it would be a turnoff for me. Like, yes. I think like with
personal
a lot of these...
pref.
When these men-women things, it always works better in a conversation when you make it about you, because
totally
then
all men should do. There's no generalization. Like you can't. Right. No, if she was like every man I've ever met has the IQ of a piece of shit, it's like okay, well that's specific and weird and not true. The throwaway comments are fine, but have your personal preference is personal preference.
Right, like I had a situation. We play Red Flag Deal Breaker on the U Up podcast, and I had a situation where I brought up that on a date someone showed me who I looked like, and I go, it was a deal breaker for me.
Can we? Who was it? Oh, was it a well-known person or like a?
It was not. I will show you the picture later on.
Okay.
Because I can find it in 2 seconds.
Absolutely.
It was one of those where, and I was basically saying that I think showing someone who they look like on a first date is a little too much of a reveal into your personal thoughts on who they are. Like now you have placed, I can see exactly
barely
how you
know each other.
Me.
Yep.
And for me, and I go, I think most people would agree with me. Now, when I say it like that, I'm making somewhat of a generalization, but I'm also like saying most people, I'm not saying like, you should, and the rule of first date is you should not. No, I was turned off by it. And if I'm like, center part of the bell curve,
it's you and one other person. So those are two preferences. Right. The only two preferences that matter. That's the thing. That's to your point. It's like there's no rule book. There's a rule book, whatever, in the ethos. But like the rule book is what you as a human being bring to the table and what that other person as a human being brings to the table.
Look at all these
your rule books.
Right, and look at all these couples. You look at them and you're like, where do you connect?
Yeah. Yeah, especially here in New York.
You see a lot of weird ones. What? Let's make Father's Day easy this year. Your old man does not want another mug. He wants great-looking body hair. Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0 has everything Dad needs to get grooming. The package includes the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose hair trimmer, Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver Toner, and Performance Boxer Briefs. The whole package comes in a travel bag, so everything is ready to wrap. That's the best part. Listen, I can understand you're like, I'm not giving my dad a ball trimmer. Like, I can understand that's your feedback to me. This is going to come in a nice travel bag. You're not giving him a ball trimmer. You're giving him a spa at home. You're giving him the ability to feel good. When you look good, you feel good, you act better. You stand up straighter. This is all connected. This is mental health you're giving to your dad. This is amazing. If your dad already has a grooming routine down, hook him up with Manscaped's Boxers 2.0 or some Preserve cologne to get him smelling as great as he looks. See, Manscaped's thought of it all. It's really a one-stop shop for all the gift giving to dad male grooming needs, and you can get 20% off and free shipping with the code JTrain at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code JTrain. Make this Father's Day one he won't forget with Manscaped. JTrainPodcast at gmail.com. Let's do another email. Everyone go follow Alex at Alex Cumin on Instagram. Hilarious comic. Go, go, go. Comedians you should know. Every Wednesday, Gutter Bar. Gym Crush, help. Dear JTrain, Feather, longtime listener here. I'm in need of some advice. After almost 3 years of being in a relationship and emailing you multiple times throughout for advice, I have finally broken things off with my ex. It's been a few months, and I feel like I'm ready to get back out there and dating. A place I frequent is the gym, and there's a guy there who I catch looking at me, walking by me, and seemingly making an effort to stay in my general vicinity. Here's my issue. He has yet to approach me. I have been the one to say hi if we ever do have an interaction. I've gone to the gym with some girlfriends a few times, and they all say the same thing. He has an eye for me, but no action. How do I start up a conversation with this guy? I definitely have some confidence in knowing that he gives me some quote-unquote looks, but I also don't want to be that creepy weird girl that is at the gym looking for her mans. Any and all advice is appreciated. Gym girl looking for her gym boy. What do you think?
Ooh, okay. I like this. This is fun. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's so easy to start up a conversation at the gym with a guy. All you do is ask for help. Men love to give help.
Yes, we're fixers.
We love to fix.
Yeah.
Hey, and also not to if she knows what she's doing at the gym, then don't ask for help.
Right.
But if you're purely looking to start up a conversation, and there's so many machines. There's so many. How do you use this? Can you help me? How do you? Can I work next time you see him on a machine? Hey, can I work in with you?
Can I work in with you?
So easy.
Easy. Are you from the area? I see you here all the time.
I see her all the time. I like your shirt.
Right.
Cool shoes.
I see your cool shoes. Compliments. I see her all the time as like an acknowledgement of like, we got to break the ice. You're just someone I always see. What's your name? And I think also, here's the script, and I think this helps. Gym, tough. It's tougher it's a social place that's not very social.
Yes.
So gym is one of those like, you're hard on yourself. It's one of those things where you're like, come on, what are you, a fucking loser? You can't talk to someone at the gym?
Yeah.
But you cannot talk to someone at the gym. It's hard. Also, headphones on.
Are our headphones in, both parties.
Right.
The other thing to consider, too, is, like, how important is this gym to you?
Right.
That's, like, a big, because if you don't want to make this a place that's weird for you to go if you end up going out with this person.
Right.
It doesn't work out, and then you're, like, avoiding going to this gym. Like, let's factor everything in.
And that's a way to empathize with his position. Why hasn't he approached me? Well, it's hard for anyone to approach anyone.
Yes.
Headphones on. I don't want to get turned down. I don't want to ruin my gym place. I don't want to be creepy. I would say, as a guy, I've never been creeped out by a woman. Okay?
I think that's such a great thing to bring up where she's like, I don't want to be the creepy gym girl. And I'm like, I've never heard those words together.
Never.
I've definitely seen and experienced creepy gym guys.
I had a creepy experience, and it took so long for me to get to creepy that you coming up to a guy in the gym will never be as creepy as the situation that happened to me.
What happened to you?
I don't know if I want to go into it.
Okay, we don't go.
It was just a weird after show thing.
Yeah,
and like, I don't know.
No.
There's nothing to get into.
We table it.
But table the story. But I would say like, on the level of like, woman came up to me at the gym. I've never had a guy come up to me like, "Can you believe I'm trying to work out?"
I didn't know what to do. I was scared.
This
like
woman wanted to fuck me at the gym.
Oh God.
Honestly, it would take so much for you to creep out a guy at the gym. Yeah. So much. You would literally have to make. You would have to make physical contact without his permission.
Just put him in a chokehold as he's doing
a chokehold wouldn't even creep. I'd be like, whoa,
hey, what's up?
How the fuck
what's
is that?
Up?
Right, holy shit.
I think the other thing too is like, don't build this up into a like, I have to go ask him out formally on a date right now.
Right.
This can be a runway situation. You open up the conversation with, hey, how are you? I like your shirt. I like your shoes. Can I work in with you? This and that. Just get to know each other a little, because also you could have a couple conversations very casually at the gym and then be like, this is not the person for me. And I'm glad.
It's such good advice, because it's not going to happen, number one. I think, hey, can I work in with you? Hey, and here's the script. Hey, can I work in with you and use the same machine?
Yeah.
You know what? I see you here all the time. I don't even know your name. I'm blankety blank.
There it is.
So there's the second part of the script. So let's go. First, can I work in? Oh my God, I see you here all the time. Acknowledgement that like you're
I see you see me. What's up? Yep.
Now, I think shaking someone's hand and saying your name is so much more powerful than we give it credit to.
It's huge. And eye contact and making eye contact.
Because right then you're touching each other.
Yes.
Hi, my name's Jared. It's nice to meet you. I do that to people all the time where they're like, you know, after a show, if they come in hot, or if they come up to me at a bar and they're like, I listen to the podcast, I'm like, let me reset.
Slow down.
I'm Jared. Nice to meet you. And I smile.
Yeah.
And I think that like, oh, okay. Now we can converse as humans.
It's like a disarming, because it also puts the ball back in your court of like, hey, we're gonna downshift for a second.
Right.
Chill.
And it lets everyone kind of get back to like downshift is a great way to put it. And then you go, what do you live in the area? How long? Now there's places to go.
You can go to so many places, and you can also put the ball back in his court of like he's clearly taken an interest. What questions does he have for you?
Right.
Like,
and if he has nothing, maybe you're turned off.
Yes.
Right.
Don't shoulder the weight of asking out on it. Like don't put too much on yourself.
Right. And I think the first time is, what's your name? Yeah. That's the goal.
Yeah.
The second time, hey, what are you doing this weekend? Or what do you do?
What do you do? What do you fill your days with? What do you like? What kind of music do you like?
Also, the time of day you're at the gym has a question. You're a morning person. You're an afternoon person. Yep. What do you do that you get to come here in the afternoon? Yep. What do you do that you get here at 7 o'clock at night? You know, like these are all work into the conversation. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. When to speak up at the bar?
Ooh.
Jared, longtime fan. I finally got to see you in Vancouver. Your show was awesome. Our favorite of the comedy festival. Ooh, that's so nice. It was such a great time. I love Vancouver. Love Couve Town. Beautiful.
Is it amazing?
They
gotta get up to Canada.
I love it. You haven't been?
No. I mean, like once as a kid.
Vancouver. It is funny because that city, all you heard were complaints. They're like, we got this one, it's crime, and then I was like, you have everything here.
Hilarious.
You have everything, right? Like you're like you have mountains, ocean. It's all within reach. It's a beautiful city. I don't know. I was obsessed with Vancouver. We're in Cleveland and can't wait to see you again stateside. Oh my God!
Hey now,
double dip.
Ooh, fannies.
Okay, I'll be back in Cleveland. I love hilarities. Okay, question for you: when do I mention my relationship status at the bar? I'm in a long-term relationship and still do lots of things on my own. I even enjoy stopping in for a solo drink every now and then, especially if I have some time between events. I'm fairly outgoing and usually strike up conversations with the bartenders or other people. On more than one occasion, I'll get asked for my number. I'll then have to say, I'm in a relationship. Then I feel bad. Did I lead them on? I don't feel comfortable bringing up my partner in surface-level conversations. It feels pretentious and weird for me to disclose personal information. But plus, most of my conversations are about general interests, so it's not supernatural to bring up a relationship. What are your thoughts? Would you rather me bring it up within the first 20 minutes of meeting? What about in activities like run groups, etc.? What do you think? You're in a relationship. Does this happen to you?
Yeah.
You're also out. I mean, comedians are just out in general. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't have, I don't think people are as attracted to women in comedy as they are to men.
This is said more.
Totally.
You could be a very like nothing dude comic, but you're a guy on stage with a mic. There's some sort of confidence thing.
Yeah.
You will get approached by women.
Big time.
The opposite does not happen as much.
Does not happen as much. But that's not to say that it has never happened. And I think that if it's like a one time, if you go to the bar, you're just chatting up the bartender and it's like the one time thing and they ask for your number, I don't think you have to bring that up right away.
Right.
Like it's a weird, like, I don't have a boyfriend. Like,
right. When I hear I have a boyfriend in conversation very soon,
yeah,
I go, good to know, not my
Wasn't
intention.
going for it.
I'm just like, I'm here chilling.
Well, wasn't here for it.
When I hear it late, I very rarely do you see a guy at the bar be like, God damn it. A boyfriend? I've been talking to you for 20 minutes. I wasted all this time. When am I going to have a child? Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. You don't see that.
I didn't. I bought one drink for myself. Yeah, it's. I think if you're multiple conversations with a person, you strike up a conversation with someone and you continue to see them and
different
multiple
story.
days.
Yeah, multiple days. Yeah. Hey, we're at the same bar. I just want to let you know. Like, no, but
no.
When it comes up, it comes up. Yeah. I also kind of live in the as a single guy who will from time to time strike up conversation and go see a woman at the bar.
Yes, which is great, by the way, and more people need to be doing that. As I say that, yes,
but also
it's a lost art. I think it's a lost art.
But I also get in my head of like, say something, say that, and then I don't say anything at all. So I wuss out sometimes. I sometimes find some confidence. Yeah. When I do, and they say, "Oh, my boyfriend," and it comes up naturally. I always prefer natural to unnatural. Totally. I think this person. It sounds from your email, you sound very with it and together, and you obviously have great taste in comedy from my show. So I would say whatever you're doing probably is the right move currently. I think you should be confident. What I will say, and maybe this is 38-year-old, I have a podcast where I've gotten whatever amount of emails from women. I'm always in the camp of like, I just put on a nice show for someone who might have you got to meet my friend. Like, I kind of like live in that zen of like, I'm not mad I had that conversation. Like, I actually I had a really nice conversation. I'm thinking right now, I was at the Spaniard down the street. It's a good bar. Yeah. I go there from time to time, and I'll talk to people there because like, I tend to get recognized there more than not, and it's on the way back from the Comedy Cellar, and I enjoy going there. There was a woman next to me at the bar. We started talking, and then all of a sudden another woman came up, and I think they were together. Yeah. And I talked to them both, and ended up buying them both a drink just because I was like, hey, you guys want a drink? I got you the next one. They were so nice. It was a nice conversation. I didn't walk away from that going,
waste of time.
What don't they know?
Hated meeting a new person, experiencing a new energy from someone, potentially having a new scenario I could write a joke about. Like all of
it was good.
It's all good, and I think if we need to get out of this mindset of like, sex is the end game for every conversation. It's like, be open to new people, new experiences, new conversations, and it'll come up when it needs to come up.
Also, not even sex is like, what do I get from this convo? And it's like
human connection is what you get. Human connection.
Well, this person's worried. Did this person not get what they wanted from this conversation? When
such a woman, such a female mindset too. Did I give enough? Did I give enough of myself? And did they? Is he unfulfilled? Did I make him uncomfortable? Did I make him angry? Very accommodating female energy.
This is like very comfy, cozy. Yeah. Right. Trying to make everyone comfortable.
Yes.
Does everyone have enough drinks? Are you gotta, So I think from that perspective, like, I think you got something out of it. You should be more personally like, what you got out of it is this nice time at the bar, had a good conversation. Like, fuck them.
Your independence to be at a bar, which is also such a cool thing. So many people are not able to do that. So many people are not able to just sit at a bar and strike up conversation with a stranger.
Good for you. JTrain podcast at gmail.com. Let's do one more. You ready?
Great. I love it. Fire it up.
Everyone go follow Alex Cumin at Alex Cumin. Needham High graduate. You got to support the Rockets. I can't believe I'm going to a Needham High lacrosse game on Thursday.
Send some
literally
pics.
The email said fill the hill. Isn't that crazy? This is very inside baseball.
I don't care that they did that.
Right.
I don't care for that. I don't care for that. That wasn't. It was the
saying.
School. What was this on the hill? The Hilltopper was the newspaper, the student newspaper.
I don't remember. I remember seeing like a Hilltopper, like, I don't remember a student newspaper, but I remember like seeing an old one.
Yeah. In the hallway next to the gym. Yeah.
Fill the Hill. I didn't.
Fill the Hill
I had no connection to that, but I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I have to tell you another story after we're done.
Post.
Okay, so suffocating friend in the friend group. Jared, an hilarious comic guest. I have a grammar school friend, let's call her Beth, who now lives in my city and has ingrained herself into most of my social circles. I brought Beth to another friend's party a few years ago, and they swiftly accepted her into the friend group. Beth is a good person and friend, but has a big personality. The kind I only want to experience in small doses, but she keeps getting invited to all these events, birthday parties, weekend dinners, and hangouts. Even when I plan get-togethers without Beth, someone else ends up inviting her. Sounds like Beth is killing it.
Oh, Beth is crushing so hard.
And big personalities will do that.
They do.
They're like,
they
oh,
do.
And
they fill the space. They fill the they fill the vacuum.
And they're who you think of first for like, get Beth in here. Like
Beth is going to be a blast.
And also takes pressure off of everyone else. Beth is here. We know I can just sit back and watch Beth do Beth.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is tough.
Oh, this is hard.
I'm at the end of my fuse. I get an overdose of this friend already when we get together with our hometown friends. And also, that's the other problem. They get like a little dose of Beth, and now she gets Beth all the time.
Yeah, she's full throttle Beth.
A bounty of Beth. I want to ask my new friends to stop including her in every single thing we do. Am I entitled to hang out with my new friends without Beth, or did I fuck up by bringing Beth around and now this is a consequence I have to suffer? To remedy this, do I set this boundary with Beth or ask the new friends to not invite her to every goddamn thing? What do you think?
Oof,
this is tough.
I've had a thing like this happen before. That
Really?
was the friend fadeaway where I introduced to a group, and then the group was like, this person's great, and then after a while this person started to like melt down and everyone was like, this person is not great.
Right, we gotta get rid of Beth.
We gotta get rid. This is a tricky situation because it sounds like everyone is on Team Beth.
Right.
Sounds like people like Team Beth.
You're the turd in the punch bowl.
Yeah.
So to speak.
Yeah, you're what, and like, are you feeling jealous of Beth? Are you feeling like your friends like Beth more than you? This feels like maybe we work on some stuff here.
And here's the thing. You saying, hey, can we get less Beth, is never going to be reflected on Beth if everyone likes Beth.
Right.
It's going to be reflected on just the way you said it just now. Like, oh, what are you feeling like that? It's always going to come back to you. It's not a good look.
No, and it sounds like she's feeling a little threatened, which is also, you're entitled to feel however you feel. So if you're feeling threatened or you're feeling like your friends are giving more attention or time to Beth than they are to you, that is a thing to voice to your friends too,
right?
And not in like we have a meeting scheduled, like one-on-one. You take them for coffee. You say, "Here's a situation I'm dealing with. What are your thoughts? I would love it if we could do some stuff without Beth sometimes."
Yeah, I think you nailed it. You gotta set. It can't be a group wide. Here's the PowerPoint I made.
You keep this off of the group chat.
Yeah,
you put nothing in writing.
This is nothing in writing. This is one-on-one shit.
Yeah.
What she needs to do, set boundary with Beth. Beth is just doing Beth.
Beth is being who Beth is, and the reason that you were friends with Beth. And also, get back to that. Maybe free write on why you like Beth.
Oh, I like a little free write.
I love a free write. Morning pages.
This is the hosting energy of get mindful and
perhaps
be present.
Ding.
Right.
Just really reflect on what you drew you to Beth in the first place and why you wanted to,
Right. It is one of those things of like, you can't decide how much of something once you allow for it. Like
just putting toothpaste back in the tube.
Absolutely.
This is
out. What I would say, what this person, listen, you can do whatever you want. You can feel however you want. One-on-one hangs with the group. Yes. I think that makes it so you get your time with each of the individuals. You can kind of reconnect. I would say your closest friend in the group, let them know how you're feeling. I think that's totally what you said about that. And make sure it's your closest friend in the group, the person you can confide in most. Let them know, like, it's so much Beth. And then they can go, okay, well, and maybe your time with this one person will give you what you want as far as like that Bethless time with the group that you remember, but it's a piece of the group. Yeah. I think. And maybe your friend will look at you and go, "Oh, well, we don't we really like her, and we're in." And maybe you'll get a perspective that you didn't expect.
"Thank God we were having a little too much Beth time." Right. There's a couple options, and then also look at what Beth is doing, and look at what gives you that twinge, and go, "Oh, do you wish that you could be more outgoing? Do you wish you could be more the life of the party? How do you embody, rather than feeling like jealous of what she's bringing to the table? Just like, how can I embody more of that, if that's a thing?"
And what you said, the toothpaste tube thing is so right on, because it's like, if you're like, hey, Beth time is over, Like, no one is going to
You're about to get Beth.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Beth's going to be the new leader of the group.
Yeah, Beth's about to be the new Lisa.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Alex Cumin, thank you for coming on.
Thanks
Fantastic.
for having me.
Everyone go follow Alex at Alex Cumin on Instagram. Comedians You Should Know is every Wednesday at the Gutter Bar. I'm Jared Freid. We're here every Monday with your emails, your stories, your questions. Keep sending them in. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. We'll be back next week. Boom.